So dear students, today our topic is linkage. But first, have an attention on the Mendel's third law, that was the law of independent assortment. And as you can see here, this is Mendel's dihybrid cross, when he used two characters and then made a cross in pea plant, and here both the plants are pure homozygous for their allele. It means if this plant parent P1 is tall, it means both the alleles are same, capital T, and the flowers are violet in color, and both the alleles are same, deciding the violet color of the flower. Similarly, the another parent is pure homozygous dwarf for small t and having the white flowers. And in F1 generation, the phenotype of the progeny were tall plants having violet flowers. Tall plants having violet flower is the phenotypic appearance of the parent first. One parent shows this type of phenotype. It means the phenotype that expresses itself in F1 generation is called dominant. So this F1 generation obviously gets gametes from both the parents, and then this F1 plant becomes heterozygous because now it has the heterozygous condition, capital T, capital R, small r. But as capital T is dominant over small t and capital R is dominant over small r, so though the character of capital T and capital R expressed, but however this F1 plant is heterozygous. And when the F2 generation is produced through crossing of F1 plants, four phenotypic plants are produced. Some plants were tall and violet. It represents the P1, that is one parent, tall violet. Some plants were dwarf white. It also represents the phenotypic expression of another parent. But here some new combinations of characters are produced, that is tall plants having white flowers and dwarf plants having violet flowers. So here it is considered that here the gene deciding the plant height and flower colors independently assort. They are assorting independently. It means they are moving, they are segregating in the gametes independently. So that's why four different combinations are produced, and the F2 ratio of a dihybrid cross for Mendelian cross for pea plant is 9:3:3:1. Here the 9 represents the parent first, the phenotypic expression of parent first, that is tall and violet, and the 1 represents the recessive parent, that is dwarf and white, and these 3 and 3:3 represents the new combinations produced by the parental gametes. Now look here same type of cross is carried out in case of sweet pea, Lathyrus odoratus, by Batson and Punnett. What he did, he made same type of cross just like the cross made by Mendel in case of pea plant, and here the Batson and Punnett crossed the two types of plants of sweet pea plant. One is having red flowers and long pollen, and the another one is having short pollen, white flowers and short pollen. And in F1 generation only one phenotypic character is expressed, that is the plants having red flowers and long pollen. So it means that the gene or allele R is dominant over small r, and capital L is dominant over small l. So the F1 plants are the heterozygous, just like the F1 plants in case of the Mendelian dihybrid cross in pea plant. So here in F2 generation, four phenotypes were produced, just like the four phenotypes in the dihybrid cross of the Mendel in pea plant, and these 4 phenotypes were red plants having long pollen, and it represents the phenotype of the first parent. Then the white and short, white flowers and short pollen. White flowers and short pollen is also another parental combination, but the 2 more combinations, just like in pea plants observed by the Mendel, tall white and dwarf violet. Similarly, red, short and white, long. So these are the new combinations. But the total number of plants produced in F2 generation, they were segregated in 4 different phenotypic classes, and their expression, the ratio of their segregation was that red and long pollen, flowers having red flower, plants having red flowers and long pollen, they were in a ratio of 24.3, and another parent was in a ratio 1.7, and the new combinations were underrepresented. However, the parental combinations were overrepresented, but new combinations were underrepresented. Whereas in case of Mendel's pea plant, that both the new combinations are equally represented, and there is no sufficient difference between parental and new combinations. So here the parental combinations express largely, whereas new combinations are underrepresented. So whenever the statistical analysis were carried out for the authenticity or the acceptance of this test, whether made by the Madsen and Punnett, that whether this test or these results can be accepted or not, so the chi-square value was sufficiently high than the table value, and so it was observed that this type of cross or the genes deciding the red flower and gene deciding the long pollen do not assort independently, unlike the gene in pea plant observed by Mendel, that the gene for plant height and flower color assort independently, whereas in case of sweet pea plant there was not an independent assortment. So how this type of results can be explained? If there is no independent assortment, it means both genes should be linked. These genes should be either present on same chromosome or different chromosome, and how these genes are linked, and then they deviate the normal phenotypic expression in F2 generation. So it was decided by the some calculations. Now we observe that what type of gametes are F1 plants producing. As we know that in case of this pea plant, and this is a hybrid plant, and its genotype is capital T, small t, capital R, small r. So what type of this plant, this F1 plant is producing, it can be observed through test cross. And in test cross, we cross the F1 plants with the recessive parent. So in recessive parent, here in case of the pea plant, the recessive parent and the genotype is small t, small r, because recessive parent will always produce one type of gamete, that is small t and small r. So what type of progeny is obtained in a test cross? It is solely, or it is completely decided by the gametes produced by F1 plants, and how these genes are linked, whether these capital T and capital R linked on same chromosome or are on different chromosome. So if considering that capital T and capital R on separate chromosomes, if capital T and capital R on separate chromosomes, so they will produce this type of gametes, capital T with capital R, capital T with small r, small t with capital R, and here small t with small r, and here this recessive parent is going to produce same type of gamete. Now a cross is made, and now a cross is made. So what type of progeny we are getting? Capital T, small t, capital R, small r. Here capital T, small t, and capital T, small t. Yes, T and T. Sorry, this is another condition. This is small r. Sorry, capital T, small t, small r, and here small t, capital R, small r, and this is small t, small r. So capital T and capital R, it means this is one type of phenotype, that is tall and violet. Capital T, small r, this is tall and white. Small t, capital R, this is dwarf and violet, and small t, small r, this is dwarf and white. So here every phenotype expresses, and their ratio of expression is 1:1:1:1. It means we can say that every phenotype has equal opportunity, equal chance of expressing itself, and the equal chance is 25% for this, 25% for this recombinant, 25% for this recombinant, and 25% for this parental phenotype. So we can say that tall and violet is a parental phenotype, tall and violet is a parental phenotype P1, dwarf and white is another parental phenotype P2, but here tall with white is a recombinant and dwarf with violet is a recombinant. So the total frequency of total recombination is 25 plus 25, that is 50%. And now this is the case for pea plant. What about the sweet pea plant as observed by Batson and Punnett? Now we observe, in case of sweet pea plant, Batson and Punnett observed that for red and long, as these plants were crossed with white and short, and if their genotype is represented as the F1 hybrid was, this is hybrid, and when this F1 hybrid is crossed with, or for test cross, when this F1 hybrid is test crossed, that is with recessive parent. So what type of gamete this plant is producing in case of sweet pea? And 4 type of phenotypes were observed, that are, and this is RL, and RL, and this only single type of gametes are producing. So this is capital R, capital L, small l. This is red and long, and capital R, small l, small l. This is red and short, again small r, this is wide and long, and this is wide and short. So all four type of phenotypes are further obtained in test cross. But what? Out of the total 1000 plants observed by Batson and Punnett in test cross, and as if both R and L genes are independently assorting, then there should be 250 plants of each phenotype. But what they observed, that red and long plants are 450, white and short plants are 470, and red and short are 42 plants. And if we have 1000 plants in test cross obtained in sweet pea, that so as the test cross, every phenotype must have a equal opportunity of being produced. That is, that out of 1000, and we are expecting that every phenotype will be of 250 in numbers. But what in case of Batson and Punnett observed in case of Lathyrus odoratus, that this type of phenotype, capital R, capital L, small l, that is red and long, these plants were 450, and white flowers with short pollen were this second parent, those were 470, and the new combinations, that is red flowers with short pollen were of 42, and white flowers with long pollen were 38. So if we add these, it is 1000. But in case of pea plant, and when the F1 plants were test crossed, and considering that both capital T and capital R, the genes present on separate chromosome, then all four type of phenotypic classes obtained in case of pea plant, there was equal opportunity, that is 25% opportunity of each phenotype to be produced. But here we know this 450 is the parental phenotype, that is red and long, and this 470 is another parental phenotype, that is short and white. But this is a new combination, that is a recombination. So we can calculate the frequency of recombination. So how to calculate frequency of recombination? Frequency of recombination is calculated by the total number of recombinants, and here total number of recombinant plants were 80, red and short, white and long, and total number of divided by total number of recombinants and non-recombinants. So here the recombinants are 80, and the non-recombinants 470 plus 450, it is 920. So this makes 1000. So the frequency of recombination is 0.8, that is 8%. It means the gene R and gene L have a frequency of recombination only 8%, and we know that the maximum frequency of recombination is 50%. Maximum frequency of recombination is 50%, and this is the case when both the alleles are on different chromosomes. And if the frequency of recombination is less than 50%, as in case of this Lithyrus odoratus, the frequency of recombination is 8%, that is much less than the maximum percentage of recombination frequency. It indicates that both the gene deciding the red color of flower having long pollen are linked together. It means whenever the frequency of recombination is less than 50%, it means both the genes are present on same chromosome. So both the genes are present on same chromosome. And how we can represent, as in case of Lithyrus odoratus, the F1 doubly heterozygous was this RRLL. This plant was having red flowers and long pollen. This is the F1 hybrid of the sweet pea plant. So here the genotype of this plant can be represented as, these are two homologous chromosomes, and there may be two conditions of representing these genes. One is RL and RL, and another condition is here R and small l, here small r, and here capital L. So you can see clearly that when the dominant genes are present together on same chromosome, this is called coupling. Heterozygote. And when the dominant alleles are on different chromosome, this is called repulsion heterozygote. And now, if both the genes are present on same chromosome, such as, and suppose R and L. Here both the genes are present on same chromosome. So how they will behave and what is their distance? As we know that during meiosis, that is sexual reproduction, there is crossing over between homologous chromosomes. So both the genes may form new combination. Here, if a cross is made here, there will be exchange of genetic material like this. So how many crossover will take place between R and L? How many crossovers are possible between R and L is dependent only on the distance between R and L. And if the distance is too much low, if both the genes are tightly packed, their close arrangement will inhibit the formation of chiasma or porosing So when two genes are distantly arranged, though on same chromosome, or are present on different chromosome, but when the genes are present on same chromosome and there is sufficient distance between them, there is chance that recombination will occur, crossing over will take place. But when the distance between two genes on same chromosome is decreases, it means both the genes are tightly arranged, there is less chance for the recombination, there is less chance for crossing over, there is less chance for chiasma formation. So, and how we can observe the distance between these two genes present on same chromosome? How the distance between these two genes on same chromosome will be observed? As we don't have any direct method to observe the distance between both genes, so it is observed through indirect way. That suppose in 100 cells just divided through meiosis, it means these 100 cells are produced through meiosis, and in each cell we want to observe the number of crossovers, that is type of gametes between both the genes. So on the basis of number of crossovers between these two genes, the map distance or the distance between both the genes can be calculated. How it is calculated? Here so first we take the condition that this is, and suppose R and L and is R and L. So if they take one crossover, if there is no crossover, both the chromosomes will go to gamete like this. One gamete will be R and another will be R. And if there is one crossover, so there will be exchange of genetic information like this, and this will be R, L, and another will be R and L. So if there is double crossover, there is triple crossover, whatever the case may be, finally on the basis of their number we can calculate the total frequency of crossover. So average number of crossover between two genes present on same chromosome can be calculated. Suppose in this case 70 gametes are without crossover and 20 gametes are with single crossover, and 8 are with double crossover, and 2 are triple crossover. So the average number of crossover between R and L is calculated. Here 70 gametes without any crossover between R and L. It means 0 into 70 upon, and here we have 20, 100 gametes, 70 plus 20, 90 plus 8, 98 plus 2, 100. So plus single crossover 1 into 20 upon 100 plus double crossover 2 into 8 upon 100 plus triple crossover 2 of triple crossover 2 into 2 into 2 upon 100. So at last we will observe that this is 0.42. So it indicates that the average map distance or the average distance between R and L gene is 0.42, or these genes are 42 units or map unit away from each other, and here this is called as and one map unit is 100 centimorgan. One map unit is 100 centimorgan. So here we have 42 centimorgan. Centimorgan is the scale for calculating the distance of two genes, closely associated genes on same chromosome, in the honor of T.H. Morgan. So here both R and L gene are 42 centimorgan, and so on the basis of this, the distance between both the genes are calculated, and at last we can say that if the frequency of recombinant is less than 50%, it means both the genes are present on same chromosome, and the maximum frequency of recombination is 50% when both the genes are present on different chromosomes.